Hello, everybody. Welcome to our webinar for our time and attendance supervisors. As you listen to this presentation, we want you to be thinking about how you can best support your agency and your employee self-service users during this transition. For our agenda today, I'll give you a quick overview of what to expect in today's webinar and fill you in on the upgrade project. I'll then turn it over to Jessica Williams, a member of our fabulous training team. Jess will discuss enhancements to the timesheet, provide a preview of the new time and attendance WorkCenter, and then discuss delegation and absence enhancements. And finally, we'll wrap up with some next steps to help you prepare for the upgrade. If you have agency-specific questions, we ask that you please enter a help desk ticket and someone from the TA team will respond to your inquiry. And on a similar note, if you have requests for additional enhancements beyond what you see today, please enter a help desk ticket so we make sure your request is captured. And these requests will be reviewed after we go live and stabilize on the upgraded system. Okay, this session highlights new features in our time and attendance module. If we don't discuss a particular Cardinal function, it is most likely unchanged as part of the upgrade. We do not have a training environment available for agency users to preview the upgraded system. However, all Cardinal job aids and other training materials are being updated and all will be made available to you prior to the upgrade. You will not have to retake training that has already been completed, although after viewing this presentation, if you feel like that would be helpful, you are certainly welcome to consider it. Okay, so before we turn the presentation over to Jess, let me tell you just a little bit about this upgrade project. We are enhancing both FIN and HCM, upgrading these applications to the latest PeopleSoft releases. We started the project in September 2025, and we plan to go live on September 8th, 2026. The upgrade includes numerous enhancements aimed at improving the user experience and overall system functionality. Our summer webinars have been designed to help you become familiar with many of the new features of the upgrade. One of the frequent questions we have received during these summer webinars is, will I still have access to my favorites? Generally, the answer to this question is no. Any homepage personalizations and nav bar favorites will automatically be removed as part of the upgrade. This is because in the upgraded environment, existing personalizations and favorites may be linked to pages or menu items that no longer exist. We do plan to send out a communication to all users advising you to take screenshots of your existing personalizations and favorites, and we will point you to instructions for recreating favorites in the upgraded system. I'm now going to turn it over to Jessica, who will review timesheet enhancements with you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jessica Williams, and I am the Cardinal Trainer for Time and Attendance. First, I want to start by thanking you all for taking the time out of your very busy schedules to attend this webinar today. As most of you know, the Cardinal system is undergoing a significant upgrade. We are previewing these improvements so that way you and your agencies can prepare for these enhancements. Our goal today is not just to show you some of these cool new improvements coming with the Cardinal Upgrade for time and attendance, but also to make sure you all understand what's changing and how you can support your teams and agency. Our goal is to reduce day one surprises by providing you all with the information needed and additional resources so that way you feel prepared to support your team and agency on day one. Before diving in, we want to clarify an important point. As Dana mentioned, core processing for time and absences is not changing. Reports, queries, and the underlying rules will remain the same. The primary improvements center on look, feel, and navigation, not business logic. There are no changes to the overall functionality in TA processing from what we have today. Now, let's talk about the exciting improvements that are coming. We'll start by talking about the new TA tiles that you will see on the Cardinal HCM homepage. So you will now see time and attendance, or the TA WorkCenter tile, and this will provide administrators, supervisors, and timekeepers with a centralized hub for managing daily operational tasks, easy access to the pages that you visit most often, and we'll talk about this more shortly. Next is the delegations tile, and this is going to offer a single location to create, manage, and view delegations. And stay tuned because I'll be demoing this here in a little bit. The last one, and this is going to be really huge for supervisors, is my team time tile. This is going to provide supervisors and managers where you can go and manage and view timesheets and absences for both your direct and indirect reports from one location. So this new tile is going to give you a complete picture of your team. You're going to see your direct reports, and if any of them have employees reporting to them, you'll see a link that lets you drill down into those indirect reports as well. So in short, anyone in your reporting chain is accessible through this tile. If you only have the supervisor role in Cardinal, you will no longer see the team time tile. You will use this new My Team Time tile. For timekeepers and admins who currently use the team time tile, that will still be the tile that you use to access employees' timesheets. So some of you may see both tiles based on your security roles and access in Cardinal, and I do want to note that. Now, let's dive into our self-service employees. They will only see the time tile from the homepage just like they do today, and I'll be talking about what's changing for all self-service employees over the next several slides and about the improvements to the time tile. Let's shift our focus to one of the areas employees interact with most, the timesheet. Over the next few slides, I'm going to walk through the updated layout and other improvements to the time tile. And one of the exciting improvements coming with this Cardinal upgrade for TA is the improved timesheet layout. So let's take a few moments and watch a video that will provide more information about this new timesheet layout and some other key TA updates.
I'm Cardinal Ken, your favorite TA supervisor, reporting live with breaking news. Cool new TA updates are coming soon, including a new and improved look and feel with great new features for entering and managing time and absences in Cardinal. Let's get into it. Before we get into what's new, let's take a look at the current layout. There are no changes in terms of how to navigate to your timesheet, so let's go ahead and click the Time tile. Notice the section options in the left-hand menu. There are going to be some changes to this with the upcoming update. Let me show you. The upcoming timesheet layout features a more intuitive design that makes navigation easier. When your new timesheet displays, one of the first changes you will see are the new sections and pages available on the navigation panel. Enter Time by Day is a new page where you can quickly enter time one day at a time. Cancel Absences is a convenient page to easily cancel absence requests when plans change. From here, you can cancel absences even after your supervisor has approved them. Once canceled, the cancellation request routes to your reports to supervisor for approval. And Approval Monitor is a new page where you can check the approval status of time and absences. Now let's zoom back out to the new timesheet. The default view is still the weekly view, but you can easily change the view here. You can also navigate to another week by using the calendar icon. Did you notice there isn't a Refresh Timesheet button on this page? The new timesheet refreshes automatically when the view or dates are changed. Now, let's quickly compare the current timesheet with the new timesheet. Our current timesheet defaults to 3 rows, and we start with entering our hours first and then selecting the TRC. The Submit button is below the timesheet grid. Let's take a look at our new timesheet. The new timesheet starts with the Time Reporting Codes field, and instead of defaulting to 3 rows, it will default to 1, but you can easily add or remove rows as needed. After you enter your hours, you will be looking for that Submit button. Instead of being under the timesheet grid, it is now here. Another new feature is Related Actions. Anytime there are related actions, you will see these 3 little dots. Here, the related actions are Save for Later and Request in Absence. And that wraps up a few of the exciting new features coming your way. This new and upcoming timesheet is definitely breaking newsworthy. Stay tuned for more information coming soon. Thanks for watching.
All right. I hope you all enjoyed that video, and we do encourage you to share this video and others with your teams so that way your employees for your agencies can know what to expect on day one as well. Now that you've seen a high-level overview in this video, let me walk you through what you'll find on the time tile. From the timesheet section, users will be able to enter their time, view their time summary, and review any exceptions, just like today, but with an improved layout. Users can enter time by day now and easily access payable time. Under the leave comp time, you'll notice new leave and comp time tiles, and that will let you view your balances and details more clearly. And in one of the upcoming videos, I'm going to show you this updated page so you can see it for yourself. For agencies using Cardinal Absence Management, the time tile also provides access to submitting absences, requesting absence cancellations, viewing absence requests all in one place. And I do want to note, in the current environment, entering absences is done on the Absences tab located under the timesheet. In the future environment, absences will be entered through this new Manage Absence page or through related actions from the timesheet, which I will talk about more in depth in a little bit. You can review your absence balances in 2 locations now, from here and from the timesheet under the Absences tab. And you can view the comprehensive absence summary page, which you will also see in an upcoming video as well. And finally, one of the new pages I'm excited to share as well is the new Approval Monitor page, which is going to provide a single location to check approval statuses for reported time, payable time, and absences. I'm going to walk through this new page in just a few minutes. Now let's explore the new timesheet, what it actually looks like, and walk through some of these improvements. As mentioned in the video, the new timesheet opens by default to the weekly view, and there's no more refresh icon, which I know a lot of us are very excited about. So when you change the date or view by selection, will automatically refresh to the viewer date selected, which is definitely an exciting improvement. A couple things not called out in this video that I want to note is the improved experience for employees with multiple jobs. It will default to your primary job with a link to switch jobs if applicable. You will notice new exception, holiday, and warning icons like you see on the slide for easier visual awareness on the timesheet grid. And there's a helpful legend which is going to be available for when you click the info icon above the timesheet grid. And then next, a really cool feature that's been added to the timesheet is a comment indicator icon. And this is going to show if a comment has been added to the timesheet. And to add or view comments, you would click related actions icon, which are those 3 little dots next to the date on the timesheet grid. When you click on that, it will open the actions menu, and from there you can click on add view comments, add a comment, and this is just a really nice visual for when comments exist on the timesheet, and it will also make it easier to add a comment when needed. Now let's look at the new view options and how you can easily navigate through the different periods on the timesheet. So as I mentioned on the last slide, you can change how you view the timesheet. You can view bi-weekly, monthly, and period. And as noted, instead of that refresh icon, there are now arrow buttons to jump to the next or previous week, or you can click on the calendar icon to select a specific date, and it will automatically refresh. When you click the 3 dots for more options, which is called related actions here as well, that is next to the submit button now, and that will include save for later and request absence. There are 2 locations now for where you can request an absence. Now let's look at how entering time has improved. One of the other new features in the video was the status bar. So this new status bar will show reported hours versus scheduled hours. This indicates if a day's recorded hours are under, over, or equal to the employee's schedule. Wage employees will not see a status bar since they do not have a predefined schedule, and they will enter their hours and submit just like they do today. Non-standard set schedules will see the status bar display their assigned hours per day. Example, if you work 10 hours one day, you're scheduled 9 hours the next, and so on. Variable schedules will show 24 hours a day, 168 hours a week, just like they do today. Entering time works the same for all groups, like it does today, only the visual display of the status bar will vary based on your assigned work schedule. Another change to the timesheet is the time reporting code selection is now at the beginning of the timesheet. So the timesheet now defaults to one row, and rows can be added just like today by selecting the plus or minus button. Now let's cover entering chart fields to the timesheet because that also has a new improved look. The process is similar to what you do today, just has a new look, and it's easier to add a speed type key. The chart field link displays on the timesheet in the same spot on the timesheet grid, and when you open the link, the chart field detail page will display similar to today. And from here, you're going to enter the details in manually or enter a speed type key by selecting the applicable one using the advanced search link. If you use a speed type key, once it's been selected, it will auto-populate in the appropriate fields, and just click the row at the bottom of the page under the search results for it to be added. And then you want to click done, and the chart field details will be added to the timesheet. Once time is entered and processed, employees and supervisors now have a place to check statuses, and that brings us to the new approval monitor page. This new page will provide approval status for reported time, payable time can be reviewed on the approval monitor page, and if your agency uses Cardinal Absence Management, the approval status for absences and canceled absences can also be reviewed on this page. You can track and filter time and absence requests by approval type, approval status, in a specific date range. This page can help in reducing the need for employees to contact their supervisor and administrators with status questions. Now let's walk through how you use this page. So the fields in the search criteria section are required fields. In order to pull up the status you are looking for, there are a couple of key fields that will help you drill down to get that information. You can review one approval type and approval status at a time. The approval details display either the absence name or the TRC description based on the approval type that's selected and the date range selected. The approver details will display the name, email address, and phone number all on this page, and it gives employees and supervisors a single view to track approval statuses and locate those approval details when needed, such as the name, email, and phone. So I want to highlight one more exciting addition, and that is the mobile functionality for TA. You're going to be able to manage your time and leave from your supported mobile devices now. You can utilize the new enter time by day page from your tablet or mobile device for when you need to submit time for a day. You can view your balances or enter an absence request, which will help when you're planning your time off without needing to log onto a computer. You can also, for those of you who are supervisors, you can approve your employees' time right from your phone, which is exciting. And then with this mobile functionality, it allows you to manage your time and leave from anywhere and on the go. Now that we've covered some of these exciting updates that impact all employees, I'm going to turn it over to Dana for Q&A.
Thanks, Jess. I think we do have just one question at this point, Jolene.
Yes, and we may have a few more people that write in the meantime, but I'm looking at Kranti, and there was a question out there of, will this upgraded Cardinal send emails when employees submit their timesheet?
And the answer is no. The system upgrade is not bringing in any new functionalities related to emails. So if you currently do not get an email, that functionality remains the same. You will not be receiving any additional emails when employees submit their timesheet.
All right, we have a VDOT specific question. Will Cardinal let us know when new employees are added to the team tile?
The answer is no. The Cardinal does not notify when new employees are added to the team time tile or my team time tile. This is just based on your reporting structure. You will see those new hires under your my team time tile as a supervisor, and the same thing applies for administrators or timekeepers. It's just your new hires would appear on the team time tile. There are no notifications for that.
All right, we have a question about if there's an app associated with this. There is no Cardinal app, but you can access it via your browser on your mobile device, whether you use Safari or Chrome. You'll log in the same way you do. The difference in this upgrade is some will render differently, and in many cases will be easier to manage on your phone. So we have a question about, will Cardinal allow an employee to have more than one approver?
The employees reports to supervisor will be the one that will be receiving the approvals. So it's only going to be one approver, but there is some new functionality coming up with delegations, which we're going to talk about. When you delegate your transactions, you can now delegate it to multiple supervisors. Initial approval is still going to go to one approver.
And then a question about the delay between when the employee submits the time and when it's routed to the approver. Is that still the same?
That is still going to be the same. We do have a process that needs to run and convert the reported time to payable time. That's the time administration process, and it is scheduled to run every 2 hours. So there is going to be that lag between entering time and the approval receiving these notifications under the approval time.
All right, so let's pause there and jump back into the presentation.
All right, welcome back, everyone. So now I want to focus on the two new tiles that were mentioned briefly earlier, and that's the TA WorkCenter tile and the Delegations tile. Let's start by introducing what work centers are. Well, work centers are designed to create a one-stop location to complete most of your daily tasks. Let's take a few moments to watch a video that will provide information about the Cardinal HCM work centers. And this video is going to feature Ken, who, like many of you, is a TA supervisor and will provide some of the benefits of the TA Work Center that could help you all with your daily tasks. Let's watch the video.
Meet Ken. He's a TA supervisor. And probably just like you, Ken has to go to a number of different pages in Cardinal to complete his daily work.
It would be so nice to have one place to go to access tasks I need to do today. I'd probably get even more work done.
Guess what, Ken? We are introducing Cardinal HCM Work Centers, a centralized hub for completing your daily tasks. Work centers reduce navigation time and improve productivity. You can review action items that contain counts so you know how many require attention, apply flexible filters, complete tasks, and run reports and queries all in one place. Yes, you heard right, all in one place. Starting from Cardinal's HCM homepage, let's take a look at the TA Work Center tile and go through some of Ken's daily time-related tasks.
As a TA supervisor, my time-related tasks include things like reviewing and fixing exceptions, approving time and absences, assigning work schedules, and running key reports.
Ken certainly has a lot of tasks, so let's see an example of how work centers can help him get them done more efficiently. Once again, start by selecting the TA Work Center tile. First on Ken's list is reviewing/fixing exceptions. In Work Centers, he can check for exceptions in the Exceptions folder under the My Work section. Since this section defaults as expanded, he can easily see there are 3 exceptions requiring attention, which he can filter, review, and adjust. Once done, this action count will disappear. Next on the list is approving time and absences. Move down to the My Approvals section, which also defaults as expanded. He is able to quickly see he has one timesheet with payable time that requires review and approval, and 3 absence requests. Click the Payable Time page to review the timesheet. To do so, click the Payable Time option on the page. Review the entries for accuracy and select entries ready for approval and click Approve. Now that the time is approved, let's click the Refresh button and watch our task count go from 1 to none. Let's finish this task by reviewing absences. To do so, click the Absence Request page. I'll spare you the details, but do as you would in the Payable Time page by reviewing each pending request and approving them if accurate. After refreshing, the counts for this task should be gone. Now that this is completed, we can move to Ken's next task, assigning work schedules. Start by clicking the Links section. From there, click on the Manage Time folder. When the folder expands to display the page options, select the Manage Schedule page. Ken can assign any schedule needed here. Now let's go back to complete the last task of running key reports by clicking the Reports Processes section. Expand the Must Run Reports folder and select the Timesheet Report page. Here, Ken can run one of his key reports to help him verify time submitted by his employees.
Wow, thanks for that speed run, narrator. WorkCenters really can bring my tasks into one workplace.
Exactly. And those advantages apply for each of Cardinal HCM's configured work centers, including TA, BN, and PY, which again are located on the Cardinal HCM homepage and display based on your security roles. You can find everything you need to know and more about all of the HCM work centers in the job aid titled Overview of the Cardinal HCM Work Centers, located on the Cardinal website. Cardinal HCM Work Centers, your one-stop shop to get your tasks done.
All right. Well, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Now that you've seen how the Work Center operates, easiest way to think about it is a central hub for TA core users. So as noted in the video, the Work Center brings together items requiring attention and provides easy access to frequently used pages, queries, and reports. The purpose is to reduce the need to navigate to several different places within Cardinal HCM. You can review exceptions, complete approvals, run a query or report, or perform an administrator task all in one place. What an individual sees in the Work Center will depend on the security roles they have in Cardinal. Now, let me break down the main sections you'll see inside the Work Center. So my work, think of this as your to-do list. This is where you'll see items such as exceptions that may require your review or correction. Instead of having to navigate through several pages to determine whether something requires your attention, you can now come to the Work Center and quickly view the items that you need to address. If there are any exceptions, you'll see a notification with the number of unresolved exceptions on the navigation panel under the exceptions folder. An example of an exception that you might see, you might get a notification for, is an employee has submitted overtime hours, but has worked less than 40 hours for that particular week. Please note, it will show exceptions requiring attention within the last 90 days. So please continue to still use the Manage Exceptions page and run the exceptions query to review all exceptions for your employees. My approvals, this is what will show all pending TA approvals. So all time, absence requests, cancellation requests, that will all be in the same space depending on your roles and delegated authority. Next is links, and this will give you a direct navigation to many of the pages you use for your TA responsibilities. The Work Center gives you role-based shortcuts to frequently used pages. And then next is the queries and reports and processes. To make things easier, we've grouped them into two categories, must run and most run. Must run includes the recurring queries and reports that are important for payroll and compliance, which may not be applicable to you and are used more in the administrator role. The most run includes the ones that users access most frequently. And I do want to note, it is recommended that you run the queries and reports that are needed in your roles. So overall, the concept is pretty simple. My work tells me what needs attention. My approvals lets me know what's waiting for my approval. And links, queries, and reports and processes, that's what helps me get to the pages, queries, and reports I need to complete my work. Again, you'll only see items that your security roles allow. So not everyone's work center will look the same. And as noted in the video, the job aid titled Overview of the Cardinal HCM Work Centers will provide guidance as what will display in the Work Center based on security roles. Now let's take a closer look at how these links are organized. So the links section is organized into role-based functional groups. Manage time and manage absences. This is going to be very helpful for supervisors and timekeepers, giving you access to the pages used to enter and review time and absences. For those of you who manage work schedules, you will now go through the Work Center under the Manage Time section, and then from the Manage Schedule page, you can assign and view schedules. It's just a different navigation path than what you have today to get to this page, and has a nice updated look and feel. Administer time, that's access to time processing pages based on the user roles. And then Manage Delegation, this will take you to the delegations page where supervisors can create, view, and respond to delegation requests. And I'll actually be going over this in more detail in just a minute. Other links, that's going to provide access to the report manager and process monitor. So if a page, query, or report isn't available through the Work Center, the existing Cardinal navigation is still available through the navbar menu. And next, I want to move to the Delegations tile, which is one of the big improvements coming with this upgrade. As I mentioned earlier, there's a new tile from the Cardinal HCM homepage, and this is a notable difference from what you do today. For supervisors, this provides a much easier way to create and manage your delegations. If you receive a delegation of authority request that requires action, the pending request will appear under My Approvals in the TA Work Center, as I just went over. And in the future environment, the word proxy is being replaced with the word delegate. So when I demo here in a few minutes, I'll be using the word delegate instead of proxy, so that way I'm consistent with the future environment. Now let's break down what supervisors will see when they open the delegations tile. So there's going to be 3 tiles for supervisors. You will see create delegation requests, my delegates, my delegated authorities. So first, the create delegation request, that's where you will go to delegate your approval authority to another eligible approver. Second, my delegates is where you will review, manage the delegation request that has been assigned to other people. And third will be my delegated authorities. And this is where you'll see authority that someone else has delegated to you, and you are responsible for those transactions. So an easy way to remember this is my delegates is where I delegated to others, and my delegated authorities is what others have delegated to me. And this new guided step-by-step flow is going to replace the old multi-page screens that you're familiar with today, and it's now going to be streamlined and mobile friendly. So now that you've seen an overview of the tiles and the new flow, let's switch gears, and I'm going to walk you through a live demonstration of creating a delegation request. Before I transition over to the live demonstration, there are 3 things I want to call out before I start. Please note that the demonstration is being done in our training environment. You will notice the green cardinal bird, and we are using mocked and staged data. Remember, this demo is not training. I'm going to be focusing on the key improvements. There's no change to the underlying process. We're both creating and updating job aids as applicable, and those will serve as your go-to resources upon go live. And that will provide you detailed step-by-step instruction and information. Today is more about giving you a preview of some of these key improvements. Give me a moment to log into our training environment and share my screen. We're now on the Cardinal HCM homepage. The tiles that display will vary based on user security roles. For this demonstration, I have logged in as a TA supervisor. And as you can see, I have access to the TA WorkCenter right here on the homepage that was called out. And you might notice the approvals tile is still there and can still be used to approve your employees' time and absences. But what I want to focus on today for this demo is the new delegations tile. So let's go ahead and open the delegations tile. And a quick reminder, these are the 3 tiles I just went over on the slide. Create delegation request is used to delegate your approved authority to another approver. My delegates tile is used to track and review requests that you have assigned to other approvers. My delegated authority is used to view transactions delegated to you by another approver. So since we're creating a request, I'm going to click on the Create Delegation Request tile. And a quick reminder too, you can do this from your computer or mobile device. So as you can see, this new delegation request page displays. And what's nice about this new enhancement, it gives you the guided steps at the top in the header. It tells you exactly what you need to do. It says, okay, guess what? We're on step 1. We're entering in our dates, right? So I'm going to start by entering in my start and end dates for the time I want the transactions to be delegated. And for this demo, I'm going to say I'm going on vacation tomorrow. And I do want to note something here. When a future start date is entered, approvals will route to the delegate starting on that selected date after the delegation has been accepted. I'm going to enter in an end date, and this is to ensure the delegation ends automatically. If an end date is left blank, the delegation will stay active until it's been manually revoked. So I'm going to put in the 31st, going on a nice long weekend. Next is the comment field, and this is required. Please do not enter any sensitive data here. I'm just going to note that I'm going to be on vacation and I'm delegating during these dates. So delegating while on vacation, and then I'm going to hit the next button. And this brings us to step 2. And as you can note too, here at the top in the header, it also provides you a previous button now. So if necessary, I can always go back and make updates, right, to my dates or comment. But now that I'm on this page, as you can see, it only will bring up those that are eligible to be delegated to. And as you can also see, as Kranti noted during the Q&A, another major improvement here is that you're no longer limited to one single delegate. You can select multiple delegates when appropriate. If you already have pending transactions in your queue when you create the delegation, the first delegate who accepts receives those existing pending transactions. After multiple delegates have accepted the delegation, new transactions route to all accepted delegates. In this demo, I am going to select 2 delegates. I'm going to select Fozzie Bear and Kermit Frog. And then I'm going to select the next button. And then this brings us to the transactions page. So the available transactions will depend on the user's access and responsibilities. When creating delegation requests, it will default to all transactions as you see here. And something I want to note is that it's important to always select all the transaction types. And this is to ensure the delegate will have access to view, manage, and improve all time and absences. So for this demo, and as I encourage you all to do, I'm going to select all. And then I'm going to click the next button. And this brings us to the last step. Pretty easy, right? This brings us to the review and submit page. And this is where you'll review the information to verify it's correct. Notice it's being delegated to 2 people. And then I'll click submit. So I've reviewed, I left a comment, I'm delegating to 2 people, and I'm delegating all transactions. I'm going to hit the submit button. All right. And now the delegation request is complete, and Cardinal will return you back to the delegations page. To view the request, I'm going to click My Delegates. As noted earlier, this is used by the delegator to view requests that they delegated to a delegate. So as you can see, when I click this, it will provide various statuses available to you to view. For this demonstration, I am going to click on the Submitted tab, so that way you can see the delegation request that we just demoed. And please note, the delegation request will not show under the Active tab until the delegation has actually been accepted. So since we just demoed this, it hasn't been accepted yet. But once it is, it will show under the Active tab and the Accepted tab. So that concludes my demo of the new delegation style. And hopefully you can see that this is a nice new structured way to make the delegation process more seamless and easier to delegate when needed. Back to our slide deck. So now that you've seen how the new delegation process works in action, let's summarize some of these enhancements. As we saw, creating a delegation is now a guided activity. Instead of working through a page to determine what's needed to be completed, the system now provides a guided step-by-step process. One of the other major enhancements is the ability to assign multiple delegates, which I called out in the demo. And an easy way to remember this is if existing pending approvals are in your queue, the existing pending items will go to the first delegate who accepted. All future items will be routed to all accepted delegates. For absence workflow updates, you'll see new delegation transaction types for absences and absence cancellations. And then next, which is an exciting enhancement, is the smart validation. Today, one issue that has occurred is that when someone has an active delegation and then they attempt to create another one without realizing that the first one is still active and in place, what will happen in the future environment when this occurs is you'll get an immediate notification detecting the situation. And if you try to delegate tasks while another delegation is still active, you will get a pop-up message that says you already have an active delegation. So then you can determine the right course of action to take. So whether it being revoking the active delegation and setting up a new one, for example, but it does help provide you that instant notification. And then as mentioned, the improved delegation process is now mobile friendly, which means you can easily create, view, and modify these delegation requests right from your smartphone or tablet. And now that I've talked about all these cool new features and new tile for delegation, let's talk about what's not changing. So I know we just went over this cool enhancement. Despite all these wonderful updates, the underlying process is not changing. It's the user experience that's been modernized to make the delegation process easier. The purpose of delegation remains the same. Delegations still become active only once the delegate accepts. Security roles and permissions remain the same. All core concepts carry forward exactly as they do today. and the eligibility requirements remain the same. So with that, I'm going to hand it back over to Dana for Q&A. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Jess. We'll tackle a few more questions we've got in our queue.
All right, so I want to go back to timesheets and first just follow up on a question that came out about email notification for a submitted timesheet. Why don't we send those email notifications?
I'll give some background history on why we do not do that, because employees can enter and submit time all throughout the time period. There is not a single submission of a timesheet. So early on with the Cardinal implementation, the email notifications for submitted time were turned on and supervisors were overwhelmed with these email notifications. As some employees submit time daily, and we do also have agencies that have employees that work on multiple projects throughout the day. And as they switch projects in the same day, they continue to submit the time multiple times throughout the day. And those supervisors were getting emails every time an employee submitted the timesheet, and they quickly requested that the Cardinal timesheet notifications be turned off as they were not useful. So instead, some agencies, what they've done is they found that sending reminders to their supervisors at the key timesheet approval deadlines is more beneficial.
We also had a question about routing of time. So can you remind people generally how time is routed from being submitted to the approver throughout the day? What's that schedule? Why is there schedule?
So there are online agencies and there are interfacing agencies, and we are more focused on online agencies for this session. The online agencies enter time on the timesheet, and we have a process that runs and generates payable time. That's called the time administration process. It applies all the validation rules to make sure the reported time that's entered is valid for payroll or not, and then it generates the payable time. And that process is scheduled to run every 2 hours, starting from 8 a.m. in the morning and 6 p.m. in the evening. We do also have a midnight run that runs at around 1 a.m. in the morning. That's the schedule of the time admin run. And when the time admin run is finished, it generates payable time, and that's when the approval work list items are sent to the supervisor's approval time. And this is specific to time that is entered on the timesheet, which needs to be validated by the time administration process. Whereas the absences, as soon as you enter the absences, it is sent for approval to the supervisor's tile, because those are not processed by the time admin process. And I want to answer another question that was asked about the difference between reported time and as well as the new absence request. The entering of absences now is under manage absence, not under the timesheet absence tab. So since it has been separated out completely from the timesheet, the approval transaction name has also changed now. It is no longer called as reported time for absences. If there is something that was pending prior to our upgrade go live, you might see those old ones still under reported time, but as time goes on, you would not see anything under reported time in future. It will all be under the absence request. The reported time approval is only applicable for interfacing agencies going forward, because we do not apply any rules to the interface time. Time administration does not need to be run for approval. So for interfacing agencies, they are not supposed to enter anything on Cardinal unless there is an emergency. When they go in and touch a timesheet, that's when they need to approve it right away. So only the interfacing agencies will continue to see that reported time approval. Hope that helps.
Great. Let's go back to our presentation. Thank you.
And you know what? That's actually a great lead-in, because we're going to shift to the enhancements for Cardinal Absence Management, beginning with the new Manage Absence page. So thank you, Kranti. So when you go to this new page, you will actually see the 3 most recent absences that have been entered, which is a really nice visual. And you'll see the status of the absence request, whether it's been submitted, approved, or canceled, just to name a few. And as mentioned earlier, and as called out in the Q&A, in the current environment, you enter absences. That's done through the absence tab located under the timesheet. In the future environment, absences will be entered through this new Manage Absence page or through related actions from the timesheet. So you can enter your absence request directly from this page. So there's 2 locations now, or from related actions on the timesheet. Similar to today, you're still going to enter the absence name to ensure it's pulling from the correct absence type. And now let's take a look at what entering an absence request will look like in the future environment. So now you're going to see this new page. You're still going to enter in, like I mentioned, the absence type, and you're still going to enter the reason based on the absence type selected. One key difference here is that you'll no longer see the forecast button. It's been replaced by the check eligibility button, which you will click on to confirm the request is valid and that you have the hours available for the request. You'll click the view eligibility details to view the details of the absence type balance after the absence is taken. And you'll be able to see the forecasted paid and unpaid hours for the absence request. Another cool feature on this page, as you can see at the bottom, you can actually see the current balance for the selected absence type. And that will make it so it's easy for employees and for all of you to see what hours are available for that requested absence. Once you check eligibility and forecast your absence request, just like today, you'll click submit and it will route for approval to the reports to supervisor. All right, now that we've talked about this new page and it's similar to today, it just has a new look and feel and some of the fields have a different name. But let's now talk about one of the most anticipated features, and that's employees being able to cancel absences themselves. So employees can now cancel absences that have been approved, as mentioned briefly in that TA updates video. This allows employees to cancel an approved absence within 90 days. Today's process, employees must contact their supervisor to initiate the cancellation. So this is a really nice, great improvement. This new cancel absence page gives employees the ability to submit their own request to cancel an absence. The cancellation routes to their current reports to supervisor for review and approval before the absence calculation process will update the employee's leave balance. The canceled absence will show under My Approvals in the TA WorkCenter, as we reviewed earlier, and in the approvals tile for the reports to supervisor to approve that cancellation. The employee selects the absence they wish to cancel from this page. And let's walk through what happens once an employee selects the absence they want to cancel. Once you've selected the absence you want to cancel, the absence details will display. The employee can enter a comment about the request, why they're canceling it perhaps, and then click the cancel absence to submit their request to the reports to supervisor. And here's what the page will look like once the cancellation has been submitted. So once the canceled absence has been submitted, the cancel status is updated to reflect the change. And you will also see the status updated on the Manage Absences page that I noted earlier. Employees can view the approval chain to see who it was routed to and the status of the request. And here's some other helpful things I do want to note about canceling absence requests. An absence request must be canceled before it can be edited. So the canceled absence can be edited and resubmitted if the user is requesting an absence for the same leave type. Another thing I want to note, an employee can cancel an absence request that's already been processed and the leave period's already been finalized. Once the current reports to supervisor approves the cancellation, the absence calculation process will update the employee's leave balance. And just as a note, as Kranti talked about the time administration process, this process runs nightly, just like it does today. I hope everyone's very excited about this new feature. But one thing that I want to share now is leave balances, as we just highlighted. You can still review your leave balances in 3 places, just like today, but now has a new improved look and feel. It's easier to view your balances. And let's watch a video that's going to highlight where you go for reviewing your balances. And I want you to see these improvements for yourself. Let's watch our last video for this webinar.
Hey again, it's me, Cardinal Cameron. Today, we're keeping it simple. How to view absence balances in Cardinal. Cardinal offers 3 different places to view your balances: the timesheet, the absence balances page, and comprehensive absence summary page. Let's start on this example of a timesheet. Here, you see the Leave Compensatory Time tab if you have overtime or comp leave balances. All employees in Cardinal Absence Management have the Absences tab, where you can see all your absence balances as of the last finalized period. Here, you can see all your details by absence type, and you can easily search one absence type at a time to view details. Now, let's go look at the Leave Comp Time page, which can be accessed from the navigation panel. We can see the same data for comp leave and overtime leave balances time here. On the Leave/Comp page, you will see a tile for each leave type you have: comp leave and/or overtime leave. You can click these tiles to see the details of your leave. Absence balances can also be viewed on the Absence Balances page. To access this page, click Absence Balances in the navigation panel. You will notice this page is very similar to the absence balances you saw on your timesheet. But this page displays a little differently. Each absence type has a row you can click for more details. From the Details page, you can easily switch from one absence type to another. A great feature on the Absence Balances page is the Forecast Balance section. Here, you can enter any absence type and any date, future or past, to forecast your balance. I've saved my favorite page for last. Now, I want to show the Comprehensive Absence Summary page. It is also accessed by clicking on the page in the navigation panel. This page displays leave and absence data all in one page. The header section includes some helpful information, including your current vacation accrual rate. The page defaults and displays your balances as of the last finalized leave period. You can select the radio button for estimated balances for the current open leave period. It is important to remember, estimated balances may include accruals that are not available for use until the leave period is finalized. The first section is a summary of your absence and leave balances. Here, you can see your carry-forward balances along with the year-to-date hours earned, taken, adjusted, and donated for each applicable leave type for the current leave year. The current balances do not include any absences in a saved status, absences that haven't been approved by your supervisor, or absences that haven't processed yet. The expiring leave types balance details provides total earned, total taken, and balances for all leave types that expire. Now you can see why the Comprehensive Absence Summary page is my favorite way to review my leave data, since everything is all on one page. If you're like me, you will visit this page frequently throughout the year to review balance details. Check out the Reviewing Absences and Leave Balances job aid on the Cardinal website in Job Aids under Learning. This is Cardinal Cameron signing off.
All right, everybody. The videos in this webinar and other helpful videos will be available for your agencies. So be sure to utilize those, the job aids, and other training materials that will be available for you, your teams, and your agencies to assist you during this transition. Thank you so much for attending. And with that, I'm going to pass it back over to Dana for Q&A.
All right, thanks, Jess. And we do have a few more questions that have come rolling in while you were chatting.
All right, we have some questions around absence balances. So let me start out first. Will we still have the review absence balance page to be able to use?
So some of those pages are changing as shown in the demo. Those new pages that we just displayed on those slides are the pages that you could use now. And the functionality hasn't changed. The balance information that you see is as of the last finalized period on all of the pages. So it does not include anything after the finalization of the last period that you have entered on the Manage Absence page. So it's forecasting is still the way to continue to see if an absence is eligible or not, because the balance is displayed there does not include anything that you have entered after the last finalization. If you really want to see the balances, they are not also real time, but we have on the comprehensive absence summary page, we have an option to go look at as of that estimated date, which is a day before when the last absence calc has run. Because the absence calc process is the one that is actually looking at what's entered on the employee's absence timesheet. I don't want to call it an absence timesheet. It's the manage absence page. So when you enter it on the manage absence page, the absence calc has to run to account for everything that you have entered and come up with the estimated balance. So that process only runs twice every day. Once it is run at 8 p.m. and the other run is at midnight. So the comprehensive absence summary page will give you an estimated balance as of that last run of the absence calc. But in all other pages, the absence balances that you see are as of the last finalized period. So it is still important to click on the forecast button and make sure that the absence that you have entered is eligible or ineligible and take action from there.
All right. So, there's questions around that lag, right? Not related to when you actually get those absence hours. So if you haven't completed a pay period, you're not going to see those accounted for. Is that correct?
That has not changed. Everything remains the same. As I mentioned before, the absence calc needs to run to account for what you have entered on the timesheet for that day to give you that estimated balance. And the absence finalization happens on the paycheck date. That's when it accounts for everything that has been entered in that pay period, and your balance displayed on the other pages gets changed.
All right. I'm going to hand it back over to Dana to wrap up.
I'm pleased to see the mostly ready. And as Jess has mentioned, and we will continue to reiterate as we close out this session, we have a lot of support materials to help you and the ESS users with this transition. So thank you for that feedback. We appreciate that.
And we have a question around how they prepare their employees for training. So it might be helpful for the supervisors who are on the call that have not been a part of some of the previous sessions that we've done with administrators to have a bit of a perspective of what they need to do from here between now and September 8th to prepare.
Okay, so let's flip to the next few slides, and I'll try to add some additional commentary on that. But here is a next step slide, and we have put together a lot of resources for you and your ESS users that we hope will help with the transition. We have added these resources and some other resources to an upgrade page on the Cardinal website. You're going to find links to all of our upgrade communications. We have posted and will post additional special videos. We've got infographics out there, and the decks and the recordings have been posted, and this one will be posted also. Before we move from this slide, we do ask if you are so inclined to please share your feedback on what you heard here. But anyway, also what we've got so far, and these will be on the Cardinal website, hopefully today, but if not by the end of the week. But these are just some of the videos that we have available for our ESS users. And the whole intent of these really is they're short, similar to what you've seen today, and they really hone in on very specific topics. So someone that doesn't really love looking at a job aid that might be lengthy or doesn't really want to go digging back into our ESS 392 course, which I will talk about a little bit. This is just a quick way to jump straight into what they're working on at that very moment. Again, you've asked about training. The ESS 392 course, which we strongly encourage all time and absence users to take, has been updated and will be in Cove LC shortly, at least before we go live. It will probably be out there several days ahead of that. But it's not required that folks retake that training. It's a great resource, right? We know there are some people that don't take the training. Again, it's not required, but it's an excellent resource for how to enter time and absence. And again, we've mentioned this a number of times. This is just a few of the job aids that are out there on the website. So what we've done, again, we mentioned we have the special upgrade webpage, which, to be fair, is a temporary webpage that will keep up for a while. But all of the job aids will be posted in the normal areas on the website that you're used to. They have all been updated to reflect the upgraded environment, and so they'll all be available. They should all be on the website before we go live on September 8th. We'll be sending out some outage communications next week. It will just be, Cardinal will be down over the long weekend and available at some point early in the day, we hope, on September 8th. Okay, well, that concludes our presentation. We hope this has been helpful to you. On behalf of our entire team, we really want to say thank you for joining us today. Your engagement and questions very helpful to us so we can make sure that our resources are as useful as possible to you. We're excited about what's coming in September, and we hope this gave you a clearer picture of what to expect. Stay tuned. We're going to give you resources to help you be ready. And again, go check out the upgrade page on the website for more information. So thank you, and we hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye now.